Today we're going to be talking about the kettlebell swing. Now this is a fan favorite, although not too many of us know exactly how to do a proper kettlebell swing. There's a huge difference between doing one correctly and incorrectly, and it has major implications on whether or not the workout is effective for you in the first place. There's also an element of safety that comes along with knowing you're doing it correctly and therefore allowing yourself to do it at a higher capacity or intensity, adding a lot to the results you get back. The first thing to understand in doing a proper kettlebell swing is that you must have a proper hinge motion in your workout toolbox. What is a hinge, you ask? Well, it's the basis for a lot of exercises, but quite simply put, it's making sure you can do a deadlift as effectively as possible before moving on to something more dynamic that requires a lot more motion and control at the same time. The first step is to understand that you are not doing an up and down motion. You are doing a forward and back motion. It's not about the kettlebell, it's about the hips, the glutes, and the hamstrings. Your pivot point is the center where your hip bone is connected to the pelvis. The most important thing to note is that this is a forward and back motion. It's about loading up the hamstrings and glutes on the way down and then snapping them forward like a rubber band. The upper body's job is to hold everything in place. Shoulder blades back, elbows tight to the body, and allowing the kettlebell to swing freely forward and back. You catch it on the way down and explode forward, not up. Try to be conscious of making sure the kettlebell doesn't drop below the knees at the bottom of the swing, and also making sure that you are moving forward and back, not up and down. If your knees are bending too much, then you're doing much more of a squat and you're lifting versus pushing the kettlebell with the glutes. The other thing to think about is your breathing pattern. As you go down, you really want to be taking your deep breath at that point. That's building up what we call intra-abdominal pressure. It's increasing the pressure inside the cavity in your gut and around the transverse abdominis. That allows you to build up nice stability in that lower back, tighten up all those muscles, and exhale, adding a lot of push to the motion. Once you get to the top, you squeeze the glutes. There's no overextending at the lower back. You want to be nice and tall and then prepare for that kettlebell to drop back down again. What you'd like to have is your back be as straight as possible, start to finish. If you could, I would imagine one of those dipping birds. You know, the ones that sit on most people's desks. Much outdated reference, but you get exactly what I'm talking about. The bird dips down, and then it comes back up. From the hip bone to your shoulders is supposed to be one nice straight line. And then from the hip to your knee should be another nice straight line. You can get a little bit of knee bend in, but you don't want to be traveling up and down. As much as you can, you want a nice, clean hinge where your shoulders can come as far as parallel to the floor on the downswing, and you want a nice straight line from your ear all the way to your ankle at the top of the swing. I hope this was helpful in getting you to understand exactly how to do a proper kettlebell swing so now you can incorporate it into your own workouts. Stay tuned for more mechanical movement in the near future.